Alright, boys and girls, TempoStorm versus Cognitive in the semi-final of the Enter the Storm North America Qualifier, and an immediate ban on Zagara again. Not really surprising. Sky Temple is a map that we haven't really seen today, but of course Zagara is incredibly strong. Cognitive with a bit of a different ban method here than what we've seen so far from OVO in the other games here today, where still those bans on Tyrande were very powerful. For now it's a false that is being banned out on the map, and TempoStorm, they go for the Tyrande. And that's one of those differences that we have between regions once again, whereas Europe starts to disregard Tyrande a little bit more, push her back in the draft. We're having on North America Tyrande still prioritized a lot higher than in Europe. And another big difference is that Zeratul that we see, of course, several times. Europe has started to play with Zeratul a little bit, but North America is dropping that hero very, very often and also very early in the draft. Where in Europe, if you play Zeratul, you have him on your last pick. On North America, the hero is so strongly valued that the teams are going for a very early Zeratul pick right now, as we could also see in the last game. Khaldor and Zeratul, therefore, as the first picks on the side of Cognitive, and TempoStorm is going for that Tyrande Tacita composition that is quite powerful. Tyrande can, of course, also be played as a solo support, but with Tacita together, you get a lot of utility out of the two heroes. You can make small adjustments on the builds, depending on what happens, especially, of course, against the Zeratul. Mental Acuity on Tacita's level 4, for example, would be such an adjustment that would make a lot of sense to just get more vision on the map. Jaina already catering towards that burst combo style that you're still heading for, with Tyrande dropping the stun, dropping the vulnerability, and then Jaina going in with the damage. And then you drop, of course, one of those frontliners that can follow up with an early stun. Have an ETC in there. Diablo, Stitches works with that quite nicely. You can also go into a few other heroes that would drop the same, like, for example, Muradin would drop that early stun. TempoStorm with that ban on Uther. I mean, Zeratul with a Divine Shield, for example, is a pain, as we all know. Interestingly enough, we don't have Thrall banned yet either. TempoStorm confirms that Uther ban, though. They don't go for a ban on Thrall here. Cognitive, if they would decide to go into a Thrall, it would of course also mean that they play a double melee assassin, which in this case you could play. Thrall is being played in a similar role as oftentimes Sonya, so more that bruiser type at the front line, not really necessarily as just like a melee assassin that jumps in the last moment. But with a Zeratul, you can play that if you really just bank on the hope that you will just snowball and get that momentum in, but you don't really have to, and I don't really expect it here. Now ETC about to be taken by Cognitive, and we have seen Stage Dive here today after that talent got buffed in the last patch. Mosh Pit could still be used here. Tyrande has an interrupt, the rest of the team doesn't really. Reyna for the auto-attack damage. So a well-rounded composition for Cognitive already that just is missing the healer. But they can go into a Charism here, they could go Malfurion, and here is that for that starting engage for TempoStorm playing with Tyrande. And they go for Stitches as well. It's a very popular composition in Europe currently as well, playing Diablo Stitches with a Tyrande. Very powerful, especially if you have access to Jaina. But TempoStorm don't lock Stitches in yet. There's options. You don't have to go Stitches. You could go Muradin too. He has a nice stun as well, so you have that second warrior at the front line that helps out Diablo. We've seen in the last game between TempoStorm and OVO already that Diablo can definitely be a bit of a liability in the late game if he's played as a solo warrior. It's not easy keeping him alive. He's rocking the early game, but oftentimes in the later stages it's a little bit tricky to keep him alive in these situations, in those big team fights. So having a Stitches here works. Having a Muradin at his side is also quite nice. Muradin, of course, losing that auto attack Avatar mini stun, but still having a huge hit point pool, and of course also a cooldown reduction now on Avatar, which helps him to just be still the one warrior that you have to that you can't really take down as easily. So Stitches, still not locked down by TempoStorm. They're discussing the meta still. But Diablo and Stitches, they really help you to just like reposition the opponent. It's very difficult for Cognitive, or it would be difficult for Cognitive, to get a good setup going without risking being hooked or being engaged upon by Diablo. And yes, TempoStorm, they lock Stitches down. Stitches is a lot more popular in Europe right now than he is in North America, but he's also gaining popularity over here. In Europe, he is oftentimes even a super early ban or pick, depending on the map. Sky Temple Charism for Cognitive has now been confirmed. So, a super fast draft once again. I mean, like North America, these boys, they draft so fast, and we have great setups for both sides here. Can't wait to see the game. Sky Temple is the map. We're going to jump in right now to see which team is going to advance to the finals. The semi-final at the Enter the Storm North America. TempoStorm versus Cognitive. And well, as you see, we have Srey on Stitches. We have actually a very European composition here currently for TempoStorm. Srey on Stitches, Ziggs on Tazada, Goku on Diablo, KO on Jaina, and Soldier on Tyrande. Super European lineup that we are seeing on their part. If you're looking at the side of Cognitive, on the other hand, that's Zeratul, of course, once again, very typical for the North American scene. Very strong, very popular over here. Glorang is playing the hero. We have Caterpillar on ETC, Ayakona on Charism, Faye on Kel'Thas, and Cawthon Luck is dropping those Reyna damage points in. And the teams here on Sky Temple are starting to move straight up to the top lane, where of course the Watchtower is being fought over once again. And there is that hook, and nearly the kill against... Uh-oh, it could still be the kill against Glorang, but not quite. He gets healed and is able to move away. Diablo and Diablo and Stitches in the same comp is very, very dangerous. It's really difficult to position yourself properly against it. It's not easy. I'm loving, by the way, Goku's combo here. Like, that skin together with the Space Lord Lyric mount. Oh my god, that works so well. Oh my god, like, I had no idea. Look at it. It is brilliant. Color coordination on a completely another level. I am loving that. That boy has some nice taste. Awesome. That is looking sick. I'm in love with that combo. That might actually just let me buy that into Diablo skin as well. So, we have currently at the bot lane, Ziggs versus Cawthon Luck, so Reyna versus Tazada. In the mid lane, still the threat of this hook of Stitches with a combo of not only the damage from Jaina, but also this lockdown from Tyrande. Tyrande and especially that Diablo, it's of course like Stitches hook at the top if they rotate, but over here it's the engage of Diablo. That's a little bit, makes a little bit more sense here, of course. Down to the bottom of the map. Tazada gets blown away. No chance for Tazada. No love for Protoss. Yeah, fight the Imba. And he is immediately being taken out here. Well, that didn't really go too well for him. And it's the first kill in the game, actually, for Cognitive. In the last game was already more the late game that won TempoStorm the match against OVO, and not so much the early game, but maybe now they can turn that around. They are going for Caterpillar, but there's Glorang as well, and he goes for Goku, and Diablo is starting to drop rather low, but the shield from Ziggs is keeping him alive. The double support is working out well for them. They can go for a bit of utility too. We have the maximum heal build for Tyrande now with a cooldown reduction build thanks to the Empower. Owl build is at the same time the best heal build that you can go for because of that massive cooldown reduction on your heals and on Shadowstalk that you get if you use that with Pierce, and then later on you can drop the Ranger talent for the extra damage. Shots fired literally at the top temple and also the one in the mid lane now. We have, again, Pierce taken here. We're seeing Empower. The rest of the talents with the Tazada moving down to the bot lane. We're seeing again Warple Blade being used for the activated teleport. We have Regeneration Master to give Zeratul a bit more sustain now in the fight. And a few adjustments on Charism actually, going on level 4 into Overtake here. So you are a bit faster, you have that movement speed increase, but of course you're dropping either the healing ward or you're getting rid of the protective shield, depending on how exactly you would skill the hero otherwise. So a bit of an adjustment that has been made here by Ayakona on his hero for the added mobility in the game. Down to the bottom of the map, on the other hand, the teams are currently just like circling those siege giant camps and seeing if they can maybe get an easy kill here at some point. As expected, Mental Acuity has been taken as a level 4 talent here for Tazada, an adjustment made because of Zeratul in the game now. And we see once again, after the Lingering Chill, also Snowstorm taken. Amplified healing after Hungry for More for Stitches, pretty standard. Up at the top lane, Soldier, oh my god, he's in a really shitty spot now. Yeah, there's no way that Soldier's going to survive this. Even with a good stun on Tyrande, he's not getting away from this one. Glorang and Ayakona, they got those kills, and now we have level 7 versus level 6. It seems so far to be a bit of a theme on the side of TempoStorm that in the early stages of the game they are falling behind. If they start a bit of a comeback like in the last game, I don't think they're going to mind too much, but I can't imagine that it's going to make games like this any easier. For now, we're seeing them with loudspeakers on 7. We have follow-through on Cognitive side for good old Zeratul, and Fight or Flight. On level 1, by the way, give me more. And I mean, that's a very smart talent to go for if you think about it. Of course, you want to have Seasoned Marksman, you want to go for the extra damage, but if you look at the opponent's side and the engage that they have with Stitches and his hook with Diablo and his massive engage now, then you want to make sure that you have an opportunity to just survive all of this, and that is where Fight or Flight and also, of course, then again, the level 1 talent with Give Me More comes into play. Cawthon Luck later on in the match is with Giant Killer definitely going to be in a position where he can drop incredible damage onto Diablo and Stitches, but he also needs to somehow be safe here. And that is, of course, not only the job of Karazim, but Reyna is trying to help him out. Reyna is a buddy, right? So he's a bro. So he's going to try and make Karazim's life a little bit easier by going for Give Me More here. The adjustment on level 7, we talked about it during the draft. We have Frost Armor taken on Jaina. It's more or less the anti-melee assassin talent. Of course, it's in general a talent against auto attackers, but it's usually something that is used against against melee assassins in particular. Also, the adjustment on level 7, no Carla's Embrace. It's the Mule that has been taken here on the map. That is going the extra mile, actually, at this point. Mule, very rare. These days, we don't see a lot of Mule taken. A lot of heroes already lost Mule when they had access to it. But right now, Mule is still taken, and they drop Carla's Embrace, probably one of the most important talents on Tassadar, to get Mule and get the structure heal. Really cool thing to see. Something that I didn't really expect here. We have Soldier and Goku right now. Also on their heroes, of course. We have Caterpillar, Corthan Luck, and Faye starting to go into the mid lane for an attempted trap. And there's the level 10 talent that they can use now. It's still at lead in experience, even though we had some nice rotations happening on the side of TempoStorm there, thanks to those 2 kills and the temples that have been taken, still behind. And yeah, that is another kill against Diablo right there. He's never going to get out of this one. 3 kills, and those level 10 abilities, of course, allow them to just like dominate the map now. So Cognitive is playing a super solid game here. As the rogue abilities, we are seeing them with the Mosh Pit, with also Phoenix, 7-sided Strike, Hyperion, and on top of all of that, the Void Prism. In the mid lane, there's the double support, Soldier and Six, they're still sliding around to run a riding in style on that cruiser here. And yeah, down to the bottom of the map, we still have Iacona. He's been there for quite some time, soaking experience, doing nothing more. It's very difficult to take him down, especially now that the level 10 abilities are finally ready for TempoStorm. They might try and set up a gank or two. And we have them with Apocalypse. There's, of course, also Putrid Bile now. Force Wall and Tassadar. A lot of utility that you get of all these heroic abilities, especially with Shadow Stalk and Water Elemental now also being used. And TempoStorm, they really need a few kills. I mean, they need to make a few plays happen here. Right now, the only main deal for Cognitive is to stay on the map active, try to take the camps that they can take, and at the same time, they could straight go for a few of those camps as well, just rotating around. Caterpillar is already there. We see Iacona, Faye, and Corthan Luck at the bottom of the map, just like trying to de-push against those siege giants that are right there. Already, KO and Soldier attempting to assist them. The longer they can keep the siege giant alive, the more damage is going to happen against these structures. But it's only 2 of them. The rest of the team needs to speed up to get some experience. It's like the triple lane soak that's important for them right now. And that's what we're seeing. But the next temple is announced, and that makes things not really easier. Mule is being dropped here, and that's super important. I mean, you need to drop that Mule as much as you can, get the most value out of it. And so far, they couldn't really heal too much up. Especially, of course, if you know that your opponent has Mule, usually try to really take structures down and you commit to it a little bit more. You actually like make an effort to go to a certain lane and take a structure down if you see that that is something that you can do. It's a team fight at the bot lane now, and now things are starting to get real. Great Force Wall, amazing Force Wall. Karazim using the 7-sided Strike, Diablo with the Apocalypse, a great Apocalypse, massive stuns, but a very good Void Prism to counter that out. And now they jump in, ETC, the kill against Stray, not happening. There it is. And Goku is also falling. They're trying to go for Iacona, but they don't get him, and KO is now just absolutely lost down here. Caterpillar is moving away, and this is a triple kill against TempoStorm again. We are seeing Cognitive with great play here. They get the level 13 talent as a thank you, and now we are, of course, also having them in position of the first temple, and they can simply move up to the top lane and try and get the second one as well. Showstopper on level 13 taken once again. We're seeing Wormhole now also for Zeratul, relentless chain bomb and relentless leader as expected for Reyna. Massive survivability talents here for the ranged assassin, and this is just absolutely brilliant for Cognitive. They're dumping the damage now from the bot temple. They can go to the top temple, take that as well. We see them with 6 kills against 0. The Mule is in play, and that is of course something that maybe Zeratul could just snipe, or they simply try to take the top temple to make sure that that Mule just has absolutely no chance of healing out too much here. And that's what they're currently doing. Structure after structure is being taken apart here. 12 versus 14 the talents. A 2-level lead already for Cognitive. TempoStorm is definitely in trouble here now. And it actually started with an amazing Apocalypse at the bot lane. They got so much area covered, and there's no way to escape it. The stun was there, but that Void Prison that we saw drop by Zeratul just countered out most of it, so there was very little that they could do after that. 6 kills against 0 now, and TempoStorm, they have to just bank their hopes once again on the late game, where they excelled in the last match, so it's not like they have lost this game or anything. We are in the semifinals here. Both of the teams already accumulating points for the standings in the End of the Storm North America ranking. But at the same time, of course, they want to go to the final. They want to make sure that they win this tournament and secure their position so that they can participate in the playoffs. The problem for TempoStorm is just simply that they're falling so far behind in experience that it's going to be a talent disadvantage for them once again. Level 13 for now, that at least helps. It's 13 versus 13 now, and as you can see here, yep, we have Relentless taken. We're also seeing Prescience, improved Ice Block and Overflowing Light. That's the chance now to maybe force a fight, but well, Cognitive is going to be very reluctant to fight. Why would they? They don't have to. There's like no pressure on them. The only thing that they have to do is soak experience, push with Rain a bit at the top lane here. Cawthon Luck is already there, and while there is still even talent, the one thing that TempoStorm is doing is they push. They go in aggressively. They go for the forts. They're trying to force a fight. They try to capitalize on the fact that they're not behind right now. It's not even that they are ahead or anything. They're not behind, and that's something that they want to exploit, as silly as it may sound, because they know that now that level 16 is finally ready, they can't allow themselves to do these things anymore, since they would just get slaughtered. So now it's Speed Metal on level 16. We're seeing Rending Cleave, Circle of Life, a great talent to boost the healing power of Karazhan. We have Arcane Barrier, and we're also seeing the Bullseye for Reyna. So at this point, it's just an incredible position for them to be in. A 2-level lead, and they can really dominate. They could go for boss. They could attempt to just simply head over to the next temple and take it from there. But of course, there's also a bit of pressure right now on Cognitive. Like, they need to do something with it. They can't just simply... And they start to do exactly that. They go for Srey, and guess what? Stitches is gonna die. He only wanted to play, but he got taken out. And that was a kill, with Zeratul not even being around. He's just waiting down here. They can go for the boss now, and they're doing already exactly that. They go for boss. It's a 4 versus 5, level 16 versus 13 talent. And TempoStorm would be very well advised to not even try, because they would just get slaughtered here. They're trying to push the mid lane right now, and they have also a few heroes up at the top where they're attempting to drop one fort, and they will get that. So that drops experience into their lap. But at the same time, the boss has been claimed. They can now rotate down to take the next temple as well. So Cognitive is just playing this very smartly. They're very smart. They're just like going from lane to lane. They soak experience. They get the camps. They get the boss once they have another lead that is big enough. And they go for the next temple here once again. So they drop the shots at the bot lane. They're starting to take the towers down. Mule isn't even dropped yet. There is a full commitment to stop that boss, but it also allows space in the mid lane. And that is where we are seeing now Cognitive starting to drop even more structures. They could do that at the top too, but they rotate back again. Zeratul is taking a wall down even to make sure that there's no vision. And here comes the commitment at the bot lane, trying to go now even for not only that particular tower, but maybe even the keep. Can they get that? There's not too many shots, and the Mule is there. The Mule is an issue, but if they poke now in with a 16 talent, they might be able to drop the keep. I doubt it, though. They know that 16 is going to be close for the opponent very soon, so they don't really want to commit just yet. If they get a chance, though, they're trying to look for it. 16 talents against 13 still. There's no level 16 yet for TempoStorm. Apocalypse has been used. Nobody stunned. Nobody. They go in with a Hyperion. Stitches is rushing away, but now the keep is open. They could go in, but they don't. They are afraid of the 16 versus 16 fight. Hyperion, if they could have held that back a bit, they would have been able to use it to drop the keep, but now it can be healed by the Mule. Oh, Gloran on his Zeratul, darting out of harm's way. Not a moment too soon. And now with those Siege Giants, they are starting to move to the bot lane again. The Mule is there. The Mule is by now there, but they are trying to take that down. Fishing Hook has been taken. There's the imposing presence. Ranger, as expected, for Tyrande. And we're seeing for Jaina now Northern Exposure claimed as the talent at level 16. The teams are both starting to move in, but that Mule is starting to do its job. Healing up the keep, repairing it. And we have everybody else just like jumping around, looking for a chance, for an opportunity. Here comes the Phoenix once again, only dropping a bit of damage in. Diablo is actually the one soaking it, not the keep. So right now they're starting to move in again. Mosh pit, no, and they go for the kill. Diablo is dead, but he is going to be back thanks to his trade. He had enough souls, and they are actually Yeah, they're zoned out. They're pushed back. Uh-oh, or maybe not. Mosh pit is still ready. He could slide through. He can go for the mosh pit, and he does. He slides through. No mosh pit yet. Tries again. No mosh pit. Caterpillar is in a bit of trouble. He's not using it yet. Ice Block on Jaina keeps her alive. They go for Glorang, and he's down. Zeratul is dead, and everybody else has to move away now. 4 versus 5. Chain bombs everywhere. Once again, the Phoenix. They want that keep. They really want it. The Mule is back again. Diablo is about to fall. Apocalypse is ready. Oh my god, Khaldor gets hooked and saved because of it. 4 versus 4 now. Diablo is down for the entire duration. Hyperion is back. They could use the Hyperion now as well, but they don't. And once again, we're seeing just ETS. Oh my god, no way. He gets the 4-man mosh pit. Oh my, what a play. Caterpillar getting 4 heroes, and they drop 3. They go for the keep and are about to drop it now. Iacona is very low in mana. A lot of these heroes. Faye as well, so they need to be careful with that. They need to mana up. They actually try to go for the core right now. They have catapults pushing the bot lane. There's also like temples everywhere, of course. TempoStorm, they're moving in for the kill. Only soldiers trying to stop them. Diablo is going to be back, but not in time. 70% on the core. This is looking like it's going to be game, ladies and gentlemen. Nearly level 20 now as well for Cognitive. TempoStorm is down, and they are going to lose it. Cognitive, they take the game, they claim victory, and they advance to the finals. What a finish here on Sky Temple. Well played, GG, and congratulations.
And that is it, everybody. GG and well played. The game's over, and therefore also the video for today here on Khaldor TV. We had another great Heroes of the Storm match, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Also hope that you enjoyed the commentary, of course. So thank you very much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up on YouTube. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to Khaldor TV yet, you should definitely hit that sub button as well. If you have some friends that like Heroes of the Storm, then definitely make sure that you show them the channel and also the video. There's a lot more where that came from. We're going to have like continuous content throughout the next few weeks with more Heroes of the Storm matches played, not only on the European server, but also on the North American server, in tournaments, in leagues, and more than that. So guys, once again, thank you very much for tuning in today. I hope that you had some fun. It was a pleasure casting for you, and I'm going to see you next time with even more videos here on the channel. So have a great day, and see you soon. Bye-bye.